Tornato here, coming directly from Beaufort, Georgia. And it's a delight to be once again with all of you for another session. And this is a special, great session. We are going to be talking about a very important subject. I mean, if you are a leader, if you are a manager, this is a topic that at one point or another you'll have to face this, and it's the topic of delegation. If you are a leader, you are going to delegate work to other people. And I am accompanied today with a great leader and someone who is very much aware of what delegation is all about. And this is Samuel Rosario. And Samuel is the general manager of one of the largest nonprofit organizations in the Dominican Republic, in the Caribbean. And what a better person to discuss this subject of delegation than with him. So without any further delays, let me ask Samuel, in his opinion and in his experience, I mean, Samuel, what is delegation for you? I mean, what is delegation?
Thank you so much, Alejandro, for the introduction. And hi, everyone. Samuel from the Dominican Republic. Well, I love to give this definition, Alejandro, because we learn in school in physics that two objects cannot occupy the same place at the same time. It is not possible. In delegation, in time management, it is false. Delegation is this ability of replicating yourself, of duplicating yourself. So when you duplicate yourself, when you give clear instructions to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, these persons become you. So delegation is the ability to make yourself occupy many places at the same time, because you are so clear. When you are very clear, giving instructions, it's amazing. You are just duplicating yourself.
I mean, to tell you the truth, I mean, that is the very first time that I hear such a comprehensive and even a definition that not many people consider it as delegation. For instance, if someone were to ask me, I mean, what is delegation? I mean, from a leader's perspective, I would say that delegating is getting more things done in less time. I mean, if a leader wants to be more efficient in doing things, I mean, he or she delegates things to other people because you want to focus on very important things, and things that may not be that important, you delegate it so they do not put more things on your plate. But I think that your definition of delegation in terms of you duplicating yourself into others so you can really maximize the time fully is something that I heard it for the very first time, but I think that it's
all
a
leaders,
great thing.
Alejandro. Yes, all leaders have to be able to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people who can do the same things they can do. I mean, this thing, I don't like the thing of being the center, wow, the son of the company, of the team. If I am not there, the team doesn't work. It's just so egotistical. I mean, it's just so bad. So that's delegation. It's not only about, okay, the less important thing you're delegating. Okay, yes, we know that. It's more than that. You gotta be able to teach others and inspire others and coach your team members so that they can be leaders like you. And you can maybe leave for 2 weeks, for 1 week, and you can leave someone on your place, taking decisions and taking action. So that's a great topic. I love the topic.
Yes, I think that, and its delegation is very important. Now, at the same time that this topic is important, and one of the the primary functions of leaders is to delegate work. But delegating work, do you think, in your experience, that you really have to know the person that you are delegating to? Because even though, I mean, one of the reasons for delegation is you want to elevate other people to a higher level, and that's why you are delegating. But you have to know that if you're delegating something, the person who you are delegating to is going to be able to do the work and to take it seriously. So, how do you go about um, finding what do you do before you actually delegate? I mean, just to make sure that the person is worthy of your delegation.
Oh, that's I love that. There's a quote. I learned that from one American businessman who says that don't teach a fish how to climb a mountain because a fish just can't swim. So yes, for sure. There's something that I've been doing. This is I'm so creative. Actually, that's my dominant thinking style. I'm really creative. I do the Bensinger test with my team members, by the way. The Bensinger test is this test that evaluates the dominant thinking of the person. And it says, okay, this person is creative, this person is analytical, this person is a leader, this person likes to take action, all that. So, of course, I need to know the person because, again, don't teach a fish or don't ask a fish to climb a mountain. No. So you do the things according to the person, for sure. So you need to know the person because you're going to be disappointed. You're going to give a test. For example, if you give, for example, someone who's very analytical, it's going to be a little hard to give a creative task to that person. So someone who, I'm not saying that it's impossible, but if you know that someone is very calculated, analytical, very logical, you know that this person is going to be a little tough to give a creative task. So you need to find a very creative person so that the person can take action on that subject and that task. So it's just key because then disappointment comes. Then you're gonna say, "Oh my goodness, no, I'm gonna do it myself. No, I'm not gonna delegate. I'm gonna do everything alone because I'm the king of this." No, that's one of the reasons that the people don't like to delegate because of that. But the reason is you don't evaluate your team members correctly. So we have to do that for sure.
Now, you mentioned a word, analytical, okay, and that is perhaps one of the traits of a personality that a person has. Now, do you think that in order to delegate effectively to others, um, do you have to first know and discover the personality of the team that you're working with or the people that you have around you? Because depending on the personality, then you are going to feel more at ease in delegating a project to somebody else.
For sure, for sure. I'm not saying to all leaders and managers and entrepreneurs listening to this live. I'm not saying that maybe you have to do the Bensinger test, but as leaders, we have to observe. We have to develop a very good instinct and be able to have this ability of looking someone for 2 minutes, 5 minutes, and know how that person works, how that person behaves. We need to know that for sure, because again, people get so stressed and so burned out. I have an experience. I share that on my social media always. People get stressed, burn out, and anxious because they have so much to do and too little time. Oh my goodness. And no, I'm not gonna do like that. No. I don't want to deal with people. No. I prefer to do it myself because if I do it, I know that I can do it. But yes, it's because you have not evaluated it. People do that because they have had bad experiences with delegating, and then they don't want to do it. But again, like you said, Alejandro, we have to evaluate the person. We have to know the personality. We have to know what that person is good at. We have to know what that person is not very good at. So that's the way we're gonna get and bring good results to our organizations, to our teams.
And why You know, I was having a conversation. I think that as I was listening to you now describe that, um, a conversation that I had with someone about a year ago. Okay, that was a pretty long time ago, um, and we were talking, and the subject came up. Why is it? I mean, if delegation is a process that is going to not only help you as a leader, but is going to help the person that you're delegating. So it's a win-win situation when we do delegation the right way. But why do you think that people in leadership positions, they are so sometimes afraid of delegating, and they don't want to delegate freely? I think that is something that they need to be pushed a little bit to delegating. Why do you think that is? Why is that about?
Okay, sometimes, Alejandro, there's a confusion between delegation and a word that many people don't know, but unconsciously you do that. Delegation and abdication. Delegation
Mm.
is not abdication. Delegation is not saying, okay, you do that and go figure how it's gonna be done. No, my friend, no. As leaders, clarity, being clear, being able, because delegation, there's a thing. We gotta be able to be understood. We gotta be able to be understood from our team members. Sometimes I evaluate myself a lot on a daily basis. If I delegated something to someone else and the person maybe didn't do it the right way, I evaluate myself. I say, wow, maybe I was not so clear. I'm not one of those who say, "Ah, it's your fault. Oh my goodness, you never understand." And no, I evaluate myself. So that's one of the reasons why people fail, while people are afraid of delegating. People don't know that they have to be understood. There's something that you have to do. You have to put in the position of that person you are delegating to. See, let's assume that you know that person, that you a little bit know the personality of that person. So put in the position of that person and use the words that the person understands. So try to be able, sometimes, because I evaluate the person. If I know that the person requires a lot of details, maybe I make some writing and give them some of the instructions. If I know that the person is a sponge, I just talk and be as clear as possible. But clarity, not being able to be clear, is one of the reasons that make people afraid of not delegating. We have to be clear. We talk about being able to select the right person, but the second thing is being clear of the thing we're delegated to.
You know, in in preparation, I mean, for this talk on delegating, I did a little bit of research, and there was one article that I read that lists, I mean, some steps in delegating, and the very first step, as I piggyback on what you were saying, it says it is clarify expectations and ask questions, and have a very clear understanding of the task that you are going to delegate. And that is exactly what you just said. When you delegate, I mean, a person who delegates properly doesn't do it that, okay, well, this is a project, you stick it on someone's desk and you said, good luck, do it, and then you disappear from the picture. I mean, that's not what delegation is all about. Delegation is, yes, you are delegating work, but it's not that you remove yourself
No,
completely from the
no.
picture. You are still there because you have to do, you have to answer a lot of questions. You have to clarify expectations. You have to make sure that the person understands what needs to be done. And you need to be there throughout the process in order to coach, I mean, in order to mentor, in order to be available for the person. So the two words that you applied. I mean, where it says delegation is not abdication. And I love that because some people think I delegate and then boom, I abdicate. I mean, the responsibility, it's all on you. No, 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 no.
It's
You
not.
pass, that's right. You pass the project, but you still active on the background. And that is exactly what you said.
Oh, for sure, because it's our responsibility. I like to use, because we know we come from presidential countries. You, Argentina, me, the Dominican Republic, and even the U.S. It's a very presidential country. When there's a bridge that falls down, we say, "Oh my goodness, that bridge was built in the administration of Ronald Reagan." Oh my goodness, Ronald Reagan made so bad bridges. Ronald Reagan doesn't even know maybe how to grab a shovel. So, but he was the leader. So he was the one supposed to select the right companies and the right engineers and the right people. So it's our responsibility. See how people say, "Oh my goodness, Ronald Reagan or Joaquin Balaguer." I don't know if you know this president of the Dominican Republic. Joaquin
Yes.
Balaguer, oh my goodness, he made so bad bridges. And that guy was not an engineer, but he was a leader. So leadership does own responsibility. We have to know that when we are business owners, when we are leaders, we have to own the responsibility. That's why, again, going to the beginning, we are replicating ourselves. We have to make sure that that person understood the objective as clear as the way we understand it. So for sure, my friend.
That's exactly right, and I think that is, and I don't know. I mean, whether you know this statement or not, but if you're a leader, the buck stops here. I mean, the buck stops with you. I mean, you are, even though you delegate, but you're still responsible for the work to be done
And the
and
result, yeah.
for the expectations of that work. So it's not that you abdicate your responsibility. You delegate the work, but you keep the responsibility for the work to be done. So, why do you think that when you delegate, one of the things that we need to do also is to do a little bit of praise. I mean, and to allow other people that are doing the work to perhaps make mistakes and learn from those mistakes. So, in delegation, in your experience, when you delegate, do you allow people to make mistakes, or once they make mistakes, I mean, you come like a hammer and you boom, I mean, you just kick them in their heads and says, "Why did?" So, if you're delegating, are you allowing for them to take ownership of the work that they're doing?
Okay, let me say something really crucial for all leaders and managers and business coaches and coaches, everybody listening to this recording. You want to know how people are going to love you for life and are going to remember you for life, all the lifetime, is how you treated them when they made a mistake. I mean, being compassionate is one of the things that make you connect with your team members. Okay, when you praise them because they did something good, that's great. They love it because we know the book How to Influence and Influence People. I mean, it's just 101 subject. Okay, we have to praise people and from our heart. I mean, sincerely praise people. People love that, and they're gonna love it. They're gonna love us for doing that. But if you want to know how people are going to remember you for life, or are going to love you for life, if how you treated them in those moments that they made a bad mistake, they're going to remember you 20 years later, 30 years later. They're going to say, "Oh my goodness, I remember that I was working with Alejandro and I forgot something. I did this big mistake. And I was expecting that he was just smash me or something like that. And he just came and said, okay, don't worry. There's nothing. Let's solve it. Don't worry. Let's solve it. So, okay, you're okay. That's key. So, and when you do that, people, one of the things that happen is that the creativity of your team members increase in a way that I cannot understand. When you allow people to make mistakes, to be themselves, they just, they feel free, they just take action. And something that happens when they stay with you for a little bit of time, the mistakes just go down and they just become more creative, better
Yeah.
people. So being compassionate is key in this leadership thing, and especially in those times where there's no dictatorship. It is gone. These eras, these ages, it is just over of this world. Not 100%, maybe 95%, but we are not in that era. We are in the era of understanding each other, of loving each other, and so people don't like being just punished and being
Mm.
afraid at work. So it doesn't work.
So definitely, there is no room for dictatorship in effective delegation. So
No.
I want that to be absolutely clear in this. Now, we talked about delegation versus abdication. Okay. Now, what is your personal opinion about delegating and some people who are micromanaging? I mean, delegation and micromanagement. You delegate work, but you are like a helicopter. I mean, like hopping on the person you delegated just to make sure that how they're doing it, what they're doing, and so forth. So you don't give freedom to the person to do the job. So, what is your opinion about that?
Oh, well, people don't like that. People don't like that at all. I mean, especially if someone who knows, because, okay, let's go to the beginning. You chose the right person and you were clear with the instructions. So, how on earth are you going to be micromanaging? So, the person is going to feel the person is not going to feel comfortable doing the job and trying to get the result. So, if you know that it is the right person, if you gave clear instructions. What are you doing there? Micromanaging every single minute and supervising. You have to supervise for sure. Maybe once a week. If you, I most of the time I give weekly goals. Sometimes 15 days goals. It depends. Of course, we can supervise one time, two times. But what
Yeah.
are you doing supervising every single day? The person is gonna feel pressure, and the creativity level of the person is gonna go down because I always like a very creative environment most of the time with my team members that they can be able to solve problems, to come up with the ideas to solve problems because I don't like these teams where I am the only one who has all the answers and nobody else has the answers. I am the great man, I am the great guy, and nobody else has answers. So when you give freedom to your team members, they're gonna be able to develop this creativity, being able to solve problems on their own, bring ideas. So that's key. That's key, my friend.
You know, one of my mentors, I mean, John Maxwell,
Yeah.
used to say, when you are in a room or when you are in a team and you are the smartest and the most intelligent and the most creative person in that room, it's time to look for a different room.
Yes.
Because
I know it.
that's right, because I mean, there's going to be more room for growth, and I tell you, it's absolutely great that you have that perspective on delegation. Now, can you think, perhaps with your experience, can you think of a delegating mistake? I mean, what could be a delegation mistake that people make when delegating?
Okay, delegation mistake. Okay, selecting the wrong person is just one of the worst mistakes. And
Yeah,
not being clear is one of the worst mistakes. And it can be delegation mistake in general. I mean, not delegating is just a mistake, just a general mistake, not delegating.
yeah,
Yeah, but for me, these two things of the right person and being clear, are one of the most important things. And there's something that you said that I love is, when you give freedom to your team members, they can be able to solve problems. To come up with the ideas to solve problems because I don't like these teams where I am the only one who has all the answers and nobody else has answers. So when you give freedom to your team members, they can be able to solve problems. you have to be able to get the person in the perspective that you are. I mean, explain the person the objective, the goals. Something that happens is not happening anymore, but in the military areas, we have these great soldiers and commanders just saying things. You have to do that. Why, commander? Don't ask anything. Just do it. I mean, this thing of it doesn't work. I mean, and actually, even the armies have changed a lot with this. I know that because I come from a father who was 41 years in the army. It has changed even in the army because you have to be able to make your team members understand the objective, the goals, where we are going to. I mean, there's something that I do with my team, and it's just that I gather them and I explain them the goals that we have for the year, and I give just a clear a paper of the goals with pictures and all that. So not being able to explain our team members why they are doing that, the reason, the result, what's going to happen. With them doing that, if you don't do that, that's a big mistake. That's again, that's the dictatorship areas, and we know that my country was in dictatorship in those in the 60s, 50s, and your country also. So it doesn't work. It just is. Things have changed a lot, my friend.
And definitely, I mean, I think that true leadership is not barking orders, but true leadership is gaining the trust of your followers, of the people that are under you, the people that are following you, is gaining their confidence, is persuading that you are the leader, that you have a vision where to go, but that you are still a human being and you are going to be making mistakes, but you are going to be taking responsibility for those mistakes. So yes, I mean, I think that leadership has been changing in some areas, and I think that one of the area is in this area of delegation. So as we are perhaps, I mean, wrapping up, I mean, this session, I would let you just give us your final words of wisdom, Samuel.
Okay, thank you so much, Alejandro. Okay, I will say to all, because I know that in my social media, there's a lot of coaches in all areas, business coaching and dating coaching and a lot of things, copywriting coaching, and there are some managers also. So I have to say, if you want to grow, you're not going to do it alone. Of course, I understand. I cannot judge you if you need to be alone in your business right now because you're just starting out. That's fine. That's great. We have all done that. But if you want to grow, for sure, you're gonna be able to be a leader. You have to delegate. You have to be able to bring a team around you. There's no way you're gonna grow alone. So there's a law in the John Maxwell 21 ways, 21 ways, 21 laws.
21 irrefutable laws of leadership.
21 irrefutable laws of leadership. The first law says the law of the left. There's a point in your business where you're not gonna be able to grow. You're just gonna, bump into the roof, bump into the ceiling. You're not gonna be able, and you don't know why you don't grow. It's because you have just come to a position, to a situation where you have to bring people, you have to delegate, you have to hire good people. So this is key, my friends, my coaches in just my communities. You're not gonna be able to grow really amazingly if you don't bring a good team around you. If you don't learn how to delegate. So let's delegate. Let's delegate. Let's be leaders. Let's be just someone who's making others leaders. So,
excellent.
Yes.
I think that was a great point. And yes, I mean, if you want to grow, you can certainly grow alone, but there's going to be a limit. If you really want to grow and expand beyond yourself, you have to do it with the help of other people. So that's a great point. And listen, I certainly enjoyed tremendously sharing with all of you. This topic of delegation. And stay tuned. To this group, Have the Edge, because as coaches and as professionals, in the area of personal growth, personal development, leadership, we want all of you to grow with us, because as we grow together, then we are in a position to make an even greater impact in the world, in our companies, in our communities. So thank you so very much, Samuel. I certainly enjoyed this conversation, and I know that people who are going to watch this session are going to receive tremendous value from it. So until the next time, it's great to be with you, and all the very best to everyone.
Thank you so much, and thank you to everyone. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.